What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is Sunday, January 27th, 2019, and this is episode number 85. This episode is a free-for-all, and on the podcast tonight, we have SaltySam and MiddleAgedStream. SaltySam, how you doing today, dude?
Doing great.
Dope! MiddleAgedStream, how are you?
Let's crack a lackin'.
Oh, it's good to see you, buddy, there. All right, we're going to get to these guys in just a hot second. During the show, if you would like to ask a question to be answered during the Q&A at the end of the podcast, you can use the exclamation Q command in chat. If we're not live and you'd like to ask a question to be answered on the next episode or submit any kind of feedback, feel free to shoot me an email at crocs@knackers.com. And lastly, if you enjoy the podcast and you would like to support the show without spending a dime, please consider leaving a review for the podcast on iTunes. So first and foremost, we're going to go around this room, introduce you guys to the people that are sitting here with me now. They're going to announce their social media, and then we're just going to get on with the show. So SaltySam, let's start with you, sir.
My name is SaltySam. You can find me on Twitch at SaltySam, Twitter at TheSaltySam, and Instagram Salty all day.
My name is Jimmy, aka MiddleAgedStream. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at MiddleAgedStream. MiddleAgedStream on Twitter, no D.
My name is Knackers. You guys can find me on this very channel or on Twitter and Instagram at Knackers with 3 A's. What are we sipping on tonight, fellas?
I actually have a real beer this time.
Oh, woo! Let's fucking go.
I've got some Sweetwater Extra Pale Ale.
Nice. 420 style.
Okay.
It's super hoppy. It's like 5.7%, but it's basically just like we put hops in at every stage of brewing it. So you basically, it's still.
What's the IBU on that? Does it tell you?
What are we talking about here?
IBUs is the measurement used in beers that basically is like the kind of the bitterness level.
Oh,
Oh no, it's not on this packaging.
You know how you can find out is if you get that Untapped app. It always has it on there. So you can check it out on there and find it.
I will research while everyone else.
My beer snob's coming out. Just wanted to know. Just wanted to know the IBUs.
beer schnapps?
Beer snob. A beer snob's coming out. I'm drinking a Vorsteiner German Pilsner.
Yeah.
And it's my buddy picked it up. The guy who's staying with me in town, who I used to be in the army with, but we were stationed together in Germany. We used to drink that shit all the time. So he came home today with a 12-pack of Vorsteiner Pilsner and a bunch of stuff to make some cilantro. And so we were just reminiscing and eating chips and cilantro and drinking German beers in the kitchen. It was nice.
39, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's not too bitter then.
No,
That's
it's not bitter.
mild.
It's just hoppy. It's
Yeah,
good.
little hops. Yeah.
You made cilantro.
Mm-hmm.
What? Please explain.
I mean, not cilantro. What's it called?
Guacamole.
Not guacamole.
Pesto?
No, it's like shit. Now I can't remember. It's not salsa, but like you put like onions and cilantro and jalapeno and
Pico de gallo?
tomatoes. Yeah, pico. There you go.
Pico.
Pico. Yeah, made some pico.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you got together with another dude and planted something and then grew it and ate it in the same day. Yeah, we just made some cilantro real quick.
Yeah, we just made some cilantro. No, we sorry, I misspoke. It was pico. So now he makes some pretty good pico. Could have added a little more spice, but next time.
Speaking of cilantro, I got the Chipotle lime cilantro rice recipe a little while ago, and ever since I've been able to make that, it's like every food prep that has needs any sort of like additive when it comes to rice. Like if it's not fish, if it's like a Mexican based dish, lime cilantro rice all day. There's that, I can't remember who it was that I talked to recently that doesn't like lime cilantro rice. Like they said that they hated it, and I was like, what? I've never met anybody who didn't like the rice from either Qdoba or from Chipotle.
I like cilantro rice, but if cilantro can go too far in my eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little goes
I don't
a long
like
way.
people that just like fucking
Yeah.
8,000 pounds of cilantro and shit. I can't eat it.
You can do it with pico. It's fine to put a healthy amount in there because you've got the strong flavors of onion and the tomato that kind of set it off, and then some lime and all that. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with you. Too much cilantro on other stuff can just overpower it. By the way, since we're talking about food, I didn't hear the audio because I was doing something else, but I was scrolling through your Instagram story. Dude, where'd you get those badass looking steaks from, man?
Kroger.
No shit. Those look prime.
Yeah, okay. Is there any the steaks looked awesome. They felt awesome and they were fresh. One end of the steak has like a little bit of a weird smell. Like I've been smelling all my meats recently and like just to be sure, and it's like it's not rotten, but it's just different. And I'm a little scared to eat it now.
Is it like blood soaked or something?
I guess it could be. It doesn't have like a blood smell. It's just like a tiny bit of stank. Weenie smelled my meat and she thought it was fine. She's like, "I'll just cut that piece off." I'm like, "Well, I don't think it works like that way. It's like it's not like cheese where you can just
If you've got just a little bit that smells weird, or if it's mildly, or if there's a discoloration, you can just cut it off. It's no big deal. Because it's no different than when you shoot a deer. If you shoot it in the wrong spot, some of the meat can get tainted or something like that. And you just don't
with
eat
their
that part of
poop.
the meat. Yeah, among other things, yeah.
Mm.
Or if you use like too big of a round, shoot them in the wrong spot, and it shreds some of the meat. You just can't eat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from the Kroger counter. So like before, I kept trying to get my ribeyes. You know how they have like the refrigerated section where they take meat from the counter and then they just wrap it so you can grab it.
Right.
Well, what I've found out is that those meats always have way more fat and the cuts are always uneven. So like one side of the steak is thin and the other side is thick. Homie, don't play that way. I want my steaks thick and even with a decent amount of marbling. And so I just realized that I'd rather just go to the counter and just grab it from there instead. So, but yeah, I think those two steaks, which I mean, well, Jimmy knows. Both of you know how big my hands are because
Those look like they were over a pound a piece. Like,
they were
look pretty big.
a pound and a quarter, I believe.
Yeah.
And,
so about 20 ounce steaks.
Yeah, 22 ounce steaks.
Massive. And those two were $33, 32, 33.
That ain't
And
bad, man.
Not bad.
That ain't a bad deal.
no, but yeah,
It's like what, like inch and a quarter?
yep.
Inch?
Yep. They're I don't know about 2, but probably inch and a quarter, maybe inch and a half if I'm being generous. But man, I can't. Two steaks a week is what I'm at right now. Just real quick, here's another question. When you guys do your steaks, what is your method with taking it out of the fridge? How long do you let it rest? And how soon until you salt before you cook it?
30-minute rest. I usually don't season it. I'll season them usually. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm cooking it on a skillet, I'll season it right before I throw it on. If I'm cooking it on the grill, I'll season it all a little bit before. But yeah, I mean, if it's within an hour, the salt is not going to dry it out. If that's what you're worried about, like you can put salt on. If it's within an hour of you cooking it, you're fine. It's fine. You don't have to worry about that. You don't want to add your dry seasonings. You can put it pretty much as soon as you take it out of the fridge to let it rest. You can go ahead and just season it. Then it's not going to really affect it that much.
What's you, Salty?
About the same. 30,
Same.
45 minutes.
Okay.
I don't season until it's going on.
So I've been doing like a little bit of testing and like trying different methods. And what I've been doing lately after trying a bunch of different things is taking it out of the fridge, salt and pepper immediately, and then letting it rest for 45 minutes and then cooking it. And what I found is the salt brings all the moisture to the surface of the steak at like the 20 to 25 minute mark. And then at like the 40 to 45 minute mark, that moisture goes back into it. And then just give it a quick pat dry with some paper towel right before. And that has produced the best cooking on the inside, like the most even cooking. And the thing that I noticed is when I started to cook steaks, the pink part would always be super thin. like no matter how much I cooked it. But now that I've been doing this, letting it rest way more and salting it right away, the amount of pink on the inside of the meat it goes from like edge to edge almost. I'm like, oh, that's what I want.
What do you like your steaks? Like medium rare?
Medium rare, yep.
Okay.
And lately, with like an inch and a quarter, 4 minutes in cast iron. Flip every minute, pull out, let rest, and it's coming out like perfect every time.
You flip it every minute?
Every minute. Yep. Every minute for 4 minutes.
Bold strategy.
Yeah.
I flip it once.
I have been wanting to try that method of just doing 2 minutes on each side and see what happens.
Yeah, the more you flip meat, we just turned into a cooking podcast. The more you flip your meat, it's gonna naturally, I don't know, it does caramelizes or whatever the process is. It's gonna build up more, so it's a little tougher on the outside. So if you really want, you have to be comfortable and you have to have the temperatures right. Okay, but if you really want the perfect steak, you pretty much are just gonna have the one, the other. You could sear the quick sear, so it's this quick. So technically, I guess it's 4 times.
Okay,
you're doing it,
and that's what I do.
Quick sear and then one over. Yeah.
Well, what is it like? How long do you sear it for?
Oh, like 15 seconds.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, my first sear.
I'm usually cooking at like 550 degree temps.
That's
when I'm
true.
Searing.
Yeah.
On my grill, so it's a higher temp sear.
Yeah, I don't think the cast iron is getting that hot in the house.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Moving on from meat, I am drinking a strawberry daiquiri. So Weenie brought up the idea of getting daiquiris for this weekend, and apparently there's these pouches of shaved ice that already have alcohol in them, and you just pour that bitch out into a drink, add a shot of vodka, and you've got a daiquiri to go. It's better than having to blend that shit yourself and deal with all the mess.
I can't remember the last time I had a strawberry daiquiri.
It's amazing. It could use a little bit. I should have put some lemon juice in it because I'm all about like the strawberry lemonade daiquiris. Like get the little bit of tartness, get the lymph nodes going. You know, when they're brother.
I think the last time I had daiquiris was when I was in fucking New Orleans.
Because those are the
literally
best.
Get them everywhere you go. Drive through fucking daiquiri places, which doesn't make any sense because they don't ID anybody in the fucking car.
Right. Yeah, you have those giant corner stores. It's like a 7-Eleven, but for alcoholic slushies.
Yeah.
They're all
flavors.
over Louisiana, too.
You just look in the McDonald's double window, and there's just like 40 fucking mixers going down that whole line.
Weenie can post the name of the place in chat, but when I visited her in North Carolina, there was a bar that was dedicated to alcoholic slushies. And it was dope. I think one was like $10, but one was enough.
Yeah.
All righty, moving along to what we've been up to these past couple weeks. Non-gaming, gaming, everything in between. SaltySam, what's going on with you, man?
I mean, obviously, I always tend to stay busy in some way or another. So I've been hunting. I got another deer the other day and took it over to the butcher. And had a bunch more sausage, and I didn't really get a lot of steaks made out of either one of them, just because I'm the only one in my house that really likes venison steaks that aren't tenderloins.
I've never had one.
I mean, as long as it's not bloody, it's good. A lot of people complain that it's gamey, which it is definitely going to be more gamey than a cow that sat in fucking a 10-foot square for 10 years.
Right.
But I mean, it's fine. I like it. I've got a shitload. I think I posted on Instagram the other day. I've got like 25 pounds of sausage and like another 15 to 20 pounds of steaks and roasts. So I made a bacon wrapped deer tenderloin last night, and that was fucking amazing.
I saw your post on that. I was drooling looking at that fucking dude. That looks so good.
It was fucking awesome. Like, basically, I took like, I think it's like 20 to 25 minutes is about what you're supposed to cook a tenderloin for, depending on the size. And so I took the tenderloin and wrapped the whole fucking thing in thick cut cherry wood smoked bacon, and then I put it in at a higher temperature for 20 minutes. So that thick ass bacon would, and then I turned it halfway through. So the bottom side of the bacon was super crispy too.
Oh man.
My wife had like half of one of those pieces in the picture. Now, given that the one big one was probably about like that,
okay.
I ate almost that entire fucking thing by myself.
Oh, looks so good. I think I'm gonna invest in buying like a quarter cow or something, because seeing you with a fucking freezer of meat and then seeing my buddy Colin with his freezer meat, I'm like, man, I want a freezer meat too. With how much I eat, like if I'm spending $30 to $35 every week in ribeye, why not just buy that shit in bulk?
Yeah, especially if you have like vacuum sealers and shit. Like my plan now that everything's frozen is to take it all over to my mom's house and vacuum seal it. So
okay,
that should be good for
exactly
years.
what we do for our son, because that's one of the only things he eats. So we buy one big ass cut of steak, we slice it, vacuum seal it, throw it in the freezer, and done. Way cheaper than
Bob's your uncle.
portions.
Bob's your uncle. So
Jimmy's your dad.
and Jimmy's your dad.
Yeah.
I got I've been working the last few weeks, and the weather we've had in Maryland has been everywhere from like 55 degrees and sunny to raining to dropping 8 inches of snow in 2 days and everything in between. So work has been like fucking insane. I hate cold weather at work. I don't give a fuck about cold weather at home. I do not want anything to do with freezing temperatures, because it is legitimately just your asshole trying to bite a chunk out of your seat all fucking night. We're just waiting for something to blow up to break. So I've been dealing with that for the last few weeks, and Lord help me if I can make it through this fucking winter and it can warm back up again. That'd be great.
Is it going to be as cold around you as it is for us next week?
Our weather is like a day behind yours.
Okay.
Pretty much. Like comes down from where y'all are at to where we're at.
Well, get ready
So
for...
It's definitely comparable, because we're going to be in the teens at night the next 2 nights. I think 15 to 18 degrees tomorrow and Tuesday. And then, and I work nights the next 2 nights, so that's fucking nice. But in lighter notes, me and my wife took my son to fucking Monster Jam in DC today. We drove up. It was at the Capital One Arena where the Caps play. So it's not like a huge stadium or anything where they can do full out races and shit, but it was still cool. My son had a fucking blast. He's 100% into everything to do with monster trucks and tractors and all that kind of shit. So he was hype, but by the end of the day, I think we were all done, because the last night we had a bunch of friends over and got trashed.
Nice.
My dad took my son for the night, and that happens like 4 times a year. So we got trashed and then had to get up and go to DC to watch monster trucks.
When you have a bunch of people over the house, what is your go-to activity? Board games, TV, Pong?
I mean, it depends on the time of year. In the old house, it was always like Pong or corners or quarters or something out in the garage. But like, because I don't have a space for that at this point, I like playing card games.
Okay.
Just drinking games. Like we just make regular board game card games into drinking games, like Cards Against Humanity. If your card doesn't get picked, you have to drink.
Oh, damn. Do you have a basement?
No.
Okay.
No. We just I just put the extensions in the dining room table and just chill.
Okay.
So, well, that's been about it. I mean, as far as gaming goes, I've been playing Ark like always. I still have a server after all this time, and
I can't believe it.
I don't play on it nearly as much as I used to, but my buddy Coyote hit me up the other day and was like, "We're thinking about wiping everything." I was like, "I don't know, whatever." So of course, like I help get everything set up and do a full wipe, because apparently our mod folder on that server had gotten so large that NFO wouldn't back this server up anymore.
Wow. Good God. Now, how many
So a
wipes have you
normal-
gone through?
Probably like 100.
Jesus
Easy.
Lord.
Like, apparently, I know how normal servers that aren't modded are typically very small, not a lot of, there's not a lot of shit running. So that NFO, I think their first limit is set at 8 gigs for a server
Okay.
to be backed up. Ours, when I asked them, because I was like, so let me get this straight. You can't do it because there's too much stuff on the server? He's like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, how much could there be? The limit's 8 gigs, 22 gigs.
God, dude.
And just mods and shit. So, oh well. It's still not backing up. I don't care. Fuck it.
Still haven't made the plunge into Atlas?
No.
Okay.
There's not a ton of content out there, and it seems like a game where you have to have friends or it's just gonna suck.
Okay.
Like if I could, I'm assuming you can host. Can you host your own servers yet? I'm assuming you can.
It's actually a great question. I think so, because I think that was the draw of a lot of big streamers playing, was them playing on their own servers with their community.
It's made by the same people that make Ark, so I'm sure they're all about. I'll wait until like the mod scene picks up in there, because
Right.
I've watched a few streams of Atlas, and I'm just like, man, it's literally just Ark, but harder. Like, fuck that. In
Building
Ark, I can
giant ass
fucking
ships.
kill people with all kinds of shit. You can't even it takes way too long to be able to venture out and do crazy shit.
Okay.
So maybe one day. I mean, I still have a VDS, so wouldn't be that hard. Put a fucking server up, jack all the settings up, and have a good time with it. But
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've gone a full year without buying a game.
Yeah, because you were talking about
Not
that on our
including-
New Year's show.
Yeah, I think it's not including like DLC. I think that was, and that's why I've done that, because I just never play. So it's just like,
Right.
if I get into Atlas, I would probably get my money's worth out of it, but I need some more draws, some more storyline content to really make it worth my while.
I feel like that's kind of my first thinking when it comes to multiplayer games nowadays is I just can't grind for the sake of grinding. I need some kind of story, some kind of direction to keep me interested, because if I'm just grinding for loot when it's like a PvE game like Destiny or The Division, like Division 2 is going to be coming out, I'm most likely going to play it, but just thinking about, oh yeah, you're just grinding for loot and gear and guns, and then you can just defeat enemies faster, and then those enemies get harder, and then you have to get better loot to. So it's just like I'm hoping there's some sort of story when it comes to The Division for people who don't want to do Dark Zone for 8 hours a day.
Right.
All right, word.
That's it for me.
Jimbo.
Non-gaming work. Back to work. Last week was a long week, even though it was a short week because I had Monday off. But I was tired, man, by the end of the week. But it was good. It's been going well. My classes are going well. My the soccer season's still going well. We had a really close game on Friday night. We tied our crosstown rival. We were up 1-0. And then they scored a goal with like 14 seconds left in the game, dude. I was just that was frustrating, but it's okay. We'll bounce back, and those guys were upset, but I was like, hey, it happens. We're gonna move
Do
on.
better, assholes. This shit won't happen.
No, they played hard. We outshot them. We outpossessed them. It was just one of those. We lost it in the last. We were a little confused late at the very end of the game when it really mattered, and that's what happened. So, but gaming wise, I've been playing. I did pick up Ace Combat 7, which I played a little on stream, and that's a really fun game. I'll probably play it a little bit more on stream, but that's probably going to be one I'll come back to time off stream. It's just a fun stuff. I haven't played a lot of those series, but I used to really be into flight sim games, even though it's more arcade than true flight sim, which I like. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games back in the 90s, which I love those games, man.
Rogue
I really
Squadron.
do. Oh yeah.
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 Rogue
That was a
Squadron was
fun
my
game, too.
all-time favorite fucking flying game on the 64.
That was a fun game, man. Yeah. I actually bought that. They had it on sale on like a Steam sale, but I could never get it to run right. Like there's all kinds of issues trying to get that game to run on modern PCs.
Yeah.
You know? I'm still playing Red Dead 2. XCOM 2, I played a little bit of that recently, which is always a blast. Ninja Gaiden came this close to beating it fucking last week. I couldn't beat it, but I'm closing in.
Are you dying inside yet from just trying to get that over and over? Like how many, if I've spent as many hours in getting over it as you have with Ninja Gaiden, I don't know what or where I would be.
For me, it's kind of like I feel like this game is my Everest. You know, like on the NES. Like I'm trying to fucking scale. If I can beat Ninja Gaiden, I feel like I can beat just about any game. You know, so I'm just gonna keep hacking away, and eventually, I think I'm gonna beat it. So, but yeah, I played some of that, and then I did a community night last night, which we played a bunch of Jackbox games, and then we played some Smash Ultimate. It was the first time I ever did something like that, and it was, playing with subs and inviting people to come talk on Discord. So I really didn't know what to expect because I don't do that sort of stuff,
Right.
I really don't. And I was a little worried, but I shouldn't have been because, the people I had in there had been to my channel for a long time. It was a lot of fun. And I'm now going to probably start doing it every other month because I feel like it's just something that's cool. And it's a way to get to know your community a little better and have fun. And I liked it. I actually really, really had a good time. So I had way more fun than I even thought. It went better than I thought it would go, and it was a blast. So
Good, man. Good.
Awesome.
We hit a sub goal, so I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 2, but I'm not going to start that until after I beat Red Dead. So it's Resident Evil. I never thought. See, I don't really like playing scary games. Even though it scared the shit out of me, I had a lot of fun playing Resident Evil last year, so I'm kind of excited about the second one. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So, I can't wait.
I think I'm gonna get scolded for this, but I have absolutely zero interest in playing any Resident. I didn't grow up playing any of them, and so seeing them now, it's like I don't care at all, and it's not in like a negative way.
I had on PlayStation 1, so I get what you're saying. I totally do. Like I get it. But you don't have to play the originals. They really do, because you haven't played Resident Evil, right? The remake.
I've never played a Resident Evil game.
Oh, okay, yeah, dude, you would like it. It's actually really good. It's really good. I mean, there's some parts in it that are but it's very, very well done. Like I'm not into those types of games. I'm really not, and I think it's fucking awesome. So.
Isn't it the Resident Evil where they have like a fixed camera and like every time you walk into a different part of the room, the fixed camera angle changes?
That was the original ones. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck those. Those are stupid.
Nowadays playing the original ones is definitely would be hard. And that was part of the reason why it made you stress out playing it, because the controls were so shitty and the fixed camera angles. But the new ones they have a lot of modern changes to the game. It is still, they made it. I don't think this new one is, but like the remake for the Resident Evil that came out like 2 years ago, they put it all in first person, which was really crazy, and it made it even scarier because that narrows your field of view, obviously. When you're playing in third person. So, but yeah, man, that's it. At some point, I will likely pick up Kingdom Hearts 3 unless it gets terrible reviews, which I doubt it will. I'm sure it's been, I think we talked about this last time. It's been like, what, 12 or 14 years in the making or something stupid like that. I think 12 years.
Yeah.
So that's the only other game in the near future. But shit, I think I'm only halfway through Red Dead. I think I'm going to be playing that a lot over the next couple weeks just so I can get that done. And not because I went with the strategy of I didn't want to rush myself through it because I'm having such a great time, but I'm also like, man, there's a lot of other games I want to play too. So
Yeah. I was getting ready to cut Witcher 3 short to start playing God of War, and then I ended up beating it the last time that not the last time I streamed it, but the stream before. And yeah, it's like, man, do I really want to go over the 100-hour mark in this one game when I have all of these other games that I need to play? And thankfully I finished it right then.
Oh, it's such a good game. We were just talking about that the other night because, you know, I streamed that game years ago when I'd only been streaming for maybe a little over a year. And then I played Witcher 3 all the way through on stream. One of the most fun games I've ever had streaming and one of my favorite games ever. And, you know, people were like, yeah, you could do a new playthrough. I'm just like, oh my God, I would love to, but it's so fucking long, you know?
And supports 4K at 60 FPS, by the way.
I know.
Can you imagine the world?
Oh no, I know. I might dip my toe in it just to see. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, now you know that if you ever run out of games, you have a game that you can go back to and just sink like 3 months into it.
Yeah, no doubt. I ain't ever running out of games anytime soon. That's for sure. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me. Just a lot of good games I've been playing, and I got some stuff to look forward to in the near future. And life is good, man. Life is good.
Awesome. I have no idea what I've done non-gaming wise over the past 2 weeks. I feel like there hasn't been much. I just text one of my friends saying, hey, we need to hang out soon. It's probably been a month plus since I've seen anybody that was a friend outside of work. So it's been a while. So it's something I need to do pretty soon. Well, I take that back. I've seen some people, but as far as like just going out and just like doing something or just having people over and just doing nothing, because even in those circumstances, I was like, I could be sitting in a room with like 7 other people, all just drinking, sitting back, having a good time, watching TV. And in my head, I'm thinking, if I applied that OBS filter to that source and then flipped it, it's like it never stops in the back of my head. But you know, got to pay the piper. As far as games, it always kind of amazes me when I write the script, because I remember back when I first started podcasting, it would come to the part of the script where I would write what games I had been playing for the past couple weeks, and it was just Rocket League. Oh, Rocket League and fucking, what's that medieval fighting game that makes me rage like no other?
Chivalry. And
they'd be like, okay, Rocket League and Chivalry. And I always remember being like, every week I would look at the script and go, knackers, play more games. And then I would never do it. And finally I'm in a place where I'm playing way more games and I love it. So first, playing The Witcher 3, we beat Hearts of Stone DLC. I'm pretty sure I got the not good ending. I got like the okay ending. I think there's only 2. Game is awesome. Heart of Stone DLC wasn't, no spoilers, it wasn't just a lot of stuff. It was like one main storyline, a couple side quests here and there. The story was okay. Blood and Wine, I played for a day. The only thing I did was I went around the map and visited every single bulletin board and got all of the undiscovered locations and quests, and then just spent the entire stream just going to all of these undiscovered locations and getting loot and stuff like that, and it was super fun. So I'm officially putting The Witcher on the shelf 108 hours later. I'm always planning to go back to it one of these days. We got other games to go through, so I'm gonna give it some time. Played a little bit of Ring of Elysium with Weenie a couple nights ago. It's this newer free-to-play BR game. BR. It took me some convincing to play it. It's actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it. We played it for a day, and then I tried to get Weenie to play again, and she's like, no, I'm not playing it. Game's a pile of shit. But the different aspects of Ring of Elysium make it kind of a unique play. When you first spawn in, you choose where you drop. There's no parachuting. You just spawn into the map. so it's like you can only have one person per grid or one team per grid on the map, and usually like a major city will be like 9 grids, and you can see where everybody else is spawning on the map. You either pick a hand glider with a certain weapon, a bicycle with a pistol, or a grappling hook and a shotgun, and that's just what you start out with. You spawn in and you have a gun. So you basically have a vehicle on you at all times that you can use, and the circle of death is volcanic ash, and it's not like a symmetrical circle that encloses. Like different chunks of the map are susceptible to falling volcanic ash, and you kind of have to like move towards the center. And then the end, it's not whoever survives, it's who survives, but whoever gets on the chopper, and then the chopper takes off and gets away.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. It's interesting concept. A little buggy. It reminds me of like a souped up H1Z1. But it's fun. And I enjoyed it. And like I always say about BR, it's not a game that I'll play full time. It's not a game that I'll play all the time. Or stream all the time. But it's always nice to just have like a different game just to kind of to fall back to. I played a demo of The Distant Light, which I have a funny story about this that I don't know if either of you guys were around. So I'll tell this at the end, or at the end of this little section. I played Overwatch this past week. Yeah, dude. And I was wrecking face. But I was playing against like other people who had never played the game before. So it's not really saying much. Yeah, I'd been kind of getting the itch just to play a different style of shooter, something that was still sort of fast-paced and first-person shooter. So Weenie and I had decided to spend the night playing Overwatch, and then Game with Gray was having a community night, and she was playing Overwatch, so we both jumped in, got to play with Gray, Herrera, Sonder, Patty, and there was a bunch of people with her community we got to play with, and it was super awesome. And yeah, I'm okay with not playing for another month after one night, but it was still a really good time. Yeah. And I'm only good with Soldier, which is like the basic bitch of characters when it comes to that game. But yeah, I was one round. I had 32 elims and 8 deaths. So I was doing pretty good, but I don't know like what rank I was compared to the rank of the people that I was playing against.
Yeah.
Queue times are still ridiculous in that game. Like 2 to 3 minutes just to find a game. It's too much.
Yeah.
I played Anthem today, which we'll talk about later. Played a little bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and then I've been playing a little bit of Battlefield 5 as well. I don't think that game is going to replace Battlefield 4 in my heart. It's good. It's a good game. That's really all I have to say. It's nothing spectacular. I want to play some of the other like operations that they have because I haven't done that yet. But yeah, we'll see. All right, let me take a swig of this, and I'm going to tell this super quick story about me making a complete asshole out of myself. So, played a game called The Distant Light. It is a side-scrolling platformer where you are a dude in space, and you're trying to, I think, revive a civilization, but you've also crashed a ship, and you're trying to find pieces of your ship, or trying to find other people that were with you, and it's not exactly a wave shooter, but like a side-scrolling space exploration shooter. And I start the stream, and I talk with chat for a while, and then I get ready to launch the game. And somebody in chat called Resonator, or Resonator Games, comes in chat and says hello. Chat responds and says hello. And then a sea of chat just goes, and I missed their next message. And I'm not going to say what that message is quite yet. So, couple more lines down in chat, I see a message that says, hey, do you mind if I post a couple of links to my game in your chat so that people can read up on it? And I saw that, not knowing who the guy was. And I went, sorry, we don't allow any self-promotion in the chat. If you want to hit me up on Twitter or Discord and send me some links that I can check out, I'll be glad to do that. And they said, okay, I'll bug out. Peace. Within seconds, chat is like, knackers! That's the developer of the game that you are playing, dude. You know that hashtag ad stream you're doing right now? Yeah, one of the devs in your fucking chat. And I've never keyboard warriored so fast to try and at this person, be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please come back. And they got out of there so fucking fast. Within seconds, they were gone. Everybody was tagging them in chat like, no, come back. I had an active conversation with their Twitter account. And I was like trying to get a hold of somebody. I whispered them. I'm like, oh my God, please, God, come back. And then 45 minutes to an hour go by. And just radio silence. No responses on the Twitter, no responses in chat, no responses in whispers. My heart is dangling out of my asshole at this point. I feel so terrible inside. And then I get a ping back from the Twitter account. And it's like, hey, yeah, that was Steve, one of the developers. I'll let him know. And I was typing out apology after apology, just trying to let him know that I didn't realize who he was. And the message in chat that I missed, like, yo, I'm this guy from Resonator Games. This is my game, blah, blah, blah. And like, I totally missed it. The only thing I saw was, hey, can I post some links in your chat for my game? And my brain went instant defense
Fuck
mode.
you.
Yeah. No
That's
self-promotion. It's rude. And my gut was to go in auto defense mode, turtle mode, like, no links in here whatsoever. And I kind of felt bad for the way that I reacted. Chat said I wasn't harsh, but it was just like no emotion, like no self-promotion, get out of here. And that was just kind of like my default reaction. And so I want to kind of change how I respond, to try and be like a little bit nicer, even though it's common etiquette to not go around and posting your links. I'm just used to people doing that. But not to the point where like anybody who says, hey, I'm going to stream, or I just got done streaming, or I don't mind that kind of stuff in my chat, because if all it takes is one person in chat to say, hey, I'm going to stream, bye. If that's all it takes for you to leave my chat and go hang out with them, I don't deserve you as a viewer. Like, you don't deserve viewers anyways, because the world doesn't owe you shit. And the people who are there voluntarily. But if all it takes is one random person in chat to say, hey, I'm streaming, and people leave, you never had those viewers in the first place. So just let them go. So that was my heart drop of the moment. I felt so terrible. And he eventually got back to me, and then he gave me his email, and we went back and forth with email, and I think everything's okay. There's still gonna be a little part of me inside that says, you've ruined this guy's night.
Yeah. Like last night when I introduced my friends to one of my wife's friends, and I totally fucking said the wrong name for her husband that I've known for like 3 years.
Oh, it's
Still said the wrong name. It was close, but it wasn't it.
That happens.
Shit.
It happens.
Give me 1 second.
I don't know who the fuck you are.
I heard a yelp from the living room, and I guess Leroy just clawed Weenie real quick.
Yeah.
Just gotta make sure there's nobody in my house. All right, moving along to gaming news and discussion. Oh God. There's during the week, if you guys would like to submit any gaming or streaming related news for us to discuss on the show, we have a hashtag news channels in the Knackers Discord where you can post those articles. And if that article is super fancy, we'll think about discussing it on the show. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. 42, Vans, G for Greg, McMuffin, Remax, Weenie, and Sonder, all for submitting articles to the hashtag news channel these past 2 weeks. And of course, shout out and respect to PC Gamer, Polygon, and Rock Paper Shotgun. Actually, no respect for Polygon, because for the most part, they suck ass. But they put out some good articles sometime. Yeah, so whiny and biased, and whoever does the research for their articles doesn't even know what a fucking computer is. They don't even know what they're looking for.
No. They're basically the BuzzFeed of gaming publications.
Mm-hmm.
Just mostly trash and occasionally all right.
Right, yeah. Necessary evil. First and foremost, massive data dump exposes 770 million email addresses and 21 million passwords. This is just a reminder from me to you, from us to you, to get yourself a password manager and enable two-factor authentication on every email account you have, every platform where you spend money. If you do not have two-factor authentication and I see you whining like a little bitch on Twitter that your shit got hacked and somebody spent your money, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm a nice guy. I'll buy you dinner. I'll suck your dick. All right? I will embarrass you with insults if I figure out that your email was hacked because of your lack of two-factor authentication, okay? There is zero reason for you to not have it. Plain and simple. One other thing. There is just a little bit of knowledge. There is a difference between two-step authentication and two-factor authentication. Two-step authentication is where you go to log into a website and they email or text you a code in plain text. That is, two-step is better than having nothing, but it's not as good. And some companies only offer two-step. Two-factor authentication is when you have to have a completely separate device that is only accessible by you in order to get those passwords. So an example would be Google Authenticator or Authy on a mobile device that uses some type of biometric authentication like fingerprints or face scanning that generates a code every 60 seconds, or I think it's even less than that, 20 seconds. So
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Steam offers two-factor authentication. Epic offers two-factor. Now they offer two-factor. Gmail, anywhere that you are spending money. PayPal, especially if you're a streamer. If I find out you're a fucking streamer and you have PayPal and you don't have two-factor authentication on, I will laugh. And then I will get your nudes and sell them for a profit. I'm telling you, nothing makes me angrier than knowing that people aren't secure with their shit. So please, from me to you, just save yourself from future embarrassment and get yourself secured, okay?
The more you know.
Remember, I love you. NVIDIA's latest driver update adds support for FreeSync monitors. So if you guys have an NVIDIA card, but you have a AMD FreeSync monitor, there are certain monitors now that support NVIDIA's GeForce Experience. So I think G for Greg is one of the community members that has an NVIDIA but a FreeSync monitor and got FreeSync to work. So that's actually huge, completely free. All you need is the most up-to-date drivers. Metroid Prime 4 has been scrapped and is starting development over from scratch with help from Retro Studios. And lastly, GameStop canceling pre-orders of Kingdom Hearts PS4 Pro. That last one is crazy. Like, if there was any sort of GameStop surviving the next decade, it's now gone.
Yeah, and this isn't like a fucking $20 video game. I threw this in here at the end because it pissed me off that bad, and it's pre-orders, so fuck pre-orders, number one. And number two, this was a fucking like $500 pre-order. I don't know what's a PS4 Pro cost. It's got to be $5.
I think 500
or $6.
No, it's not that. I think it's around $400.
But this was a special edition Kingdom Hearts PS4 Pro, and they oversold it. And then they basically just went on Twitter and was like, sorry guys, we're going to have to cancel a shitload of people's orders, and we'll give you a $15 credit to the store along with your money back. Oh, fuck yourselves. Nobody buys shit on stores anymore, and if you do, you're just ridiculous.
I was actually very surprised to see how many people on Twitter actually went and pre-ordered this stuff. Like, I know Vans goes to GameStop all the time for shit. He's like one of the only people.
That he fucking works like a half mile away from there too.
Oh, okay. It's easy peasy.
I will say this:
shit.
the GameStop is not for their big target audience is younger players, not generally older people. Because like my 7-year-old, like he likes GameStop because you have the physical stuff in front of them, the toys. You know what I mean? It's different than shopping online when you're older. Yeah. So they're definitely, their target audience is not our age for sure.
I wish there was a demand for a PC gaming GameStop where it was just cases. Like, we need a Micro Center, but it's just for PC gaming and video games.
There used to be those.
Sad.
Back when I was a kid. It was like Walden Software, which was next to Walden Books.
Okay.
They had like, and they had it was wasn't it was like a EB boutique or whatever, and they used to sell like the Sierra games, LucasArts games, and they had the PC games when they used to have the really cool shell like box art and stuff
Yeah.
for old school PC games. Yeah, they used to have
They
that.
were like this fucking big.
Yeah, on floppy disks.
Does anybody in chat still have an EB Games around them? I thought that, I can't remember if one got bought out by the other, but I feel like EB Games has pretty, because that's Electronics Boutique, right?
Yeah, they got bought out by GameStop, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one was Babbage's, I want to say. I think
Babbage's?
Babbage's.
Funko Land.
Yeah.
Babbage's cabbages. Get your veggies in your video games. The last time I went to a GameStop was for our original Switch. Did I get my?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where I got my Switch from.
Did you buy your protection plan?
Fuck no. I actually do know of 2 people that have had Joy-Cons go bad in
Really?
a year. Yeah. Now they're both avid gamers. Like they play a shit ton. But yeah, did I get mine from GameStop? Or it might have been Best Buy. I think it was Best Buy. I think so. Best Buy's different now. I've gone into a Best Buy recently. I mean, not only is it like modernized, but the departments that used to be massive, like digital media, like movies, audio, and all that stuff, those are super tiny. And now like the video games and the PC areas are massive. And now
home theaters.
The home theater too, and now Best Buy has a smart home section. Philips Hue, Nano Leafs, LifeX, Amazon thingies. Okay, we're good. I'm always afraid of setting it up. All right, first and foremost, talking about Twitch, and two topics we kind of gotta go over. One is just kind of a reminder from us to you, and then 2, talking about Ninja and Pokimane and their ads and kind of like the repercussions on the community. So first and foremost, I just want to extend a reminder to anybody out there who is a streamer that made any sort of income over the past year. I'm not going to tell you what you should claim depending on how much you made. If you made over $100, I would say you should be claiming some income just to be safe. If anything less than that can be seen as, I actually don't know how little the amount has to be in order for Twitch to send you like a 1099.
It's got to be over $2,000.
I got a 1099 for $400 last year from Twitch. Yeah. I don't think they abide by the same rules as anybody else does. I think they might 1099 you for any amount. So if you get a 1099 from Twitch, claim that shit no matter what. And just a reminder just to do your research when it comes to how and why to do certain things. I've been kind of keeping an eye on Twitter and people asking questions about taxes and claiming income and all that stuff. And I came across a thread the other day where some lady was asking for advice about how and if she should claim. And somebody came in and said, oh yeah, if you didn't make 20K or more, you don't need to claim. And she's like, oh, phew, thank God. Thanks. I didn't make that much. And I'm like, no, Jesus Christ, wrong fucking answer. Like if you are making income, Twitch is going to let the IRS know that they paid you because they want to get that money. And if you're getting income from PayPal, that's all untaxed and they're going to want their cut of that as well. So just keep in mind, you need to claim income. The easiest way to do it if you're doing TurboTax is just to file any PayPal income under Schedule C as hobby income. They just take the percentage of whatever tax bracket you're in, and that's pretty much done and done. You're going to get a 1099 from Twitch, and you just throw that. I think it's a 1099 MISC for miscellaneous, and you're going to have to pay taxes on that as well. Just please do some research, reach out to people. Keep in mind that you can't just claim deductions and just reduce the amount of money that you're going to owe. There's a lot more to it. You need to be able to document and show proof for absolutely everything that you are trying to get. I'm sorry, is it expenses? Excuse me, expenses, not deductions, because there is a difference. If you know somebody in the family that does taxes or accounting, please reach out and just please be careful out there because it's a new world for a lot of people. And the other thing you got to worry about too is there are tax professionals and accountants that know that there are a lot of inexperienced people in this field, and they're also looking to fuck you too. So try to find somebody you trust.
Yep. You can do everything right, and the IRS will still come and fucking retro your ass like 3 years later.
Right. And
they did that shit to me because of what a mortgage company did, not what I did. I filed all my taxes, did everything, blah, blah, blah. Luckily, I don't throw anything away because later on, I had a fucking first-class letter delivered claiming that I had claimed a bunch of mortgage interest that didn't exist because the fucking mortgage company that owned the mortgage at my old house never filed a fucking 1099.
Really?
At all. I just knew what my year-end balances were because I pulled them off the online
Damn.
shit. So I had to fucking go back and prove all that shit. It was a pain in the ass.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm not going to get a W-2 for my last job because that company doesn't exist anymore and they've all ghosted. So I don't really know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if they have reported the income to the IRS or if they have and they don't send me my W-2, do I need to get it from the IRS? I don't really know how that's going to go. And this year taxes are going to be fucking dumb because I'm going to have my W-2. I'm going to have my tax form for my unemployment, my tax form for my student loans, the 1099 from Twitch, the Schedule C for the other income. It's going to be so much, and I'm not excited at all.
That's me.
And the other thing, too, is like if you decide to fuck up and then you get audited, you better hope to God you have documentation for the last 7 income returns that you've done because they go back in time. So be careful out there. You excited to do your taxes, Jimbo?
Not really, but it's not that big a deal. I keep, for my streaming revenue, it all goes into my PayPal, so it's pretty easy for me to track. That's mainly the only thing I use it for. So, yeah, it's pretty easy. It wasn't too hard last year. This year might be a little more difficult because I bought a lot of stuff. Like I bought a brand new PC. So I'll actually be trying to do some expenses this year. So it'll be a little bit more complicated, but I have all that stuff documented and I have it all saved. So it'll take a little more time to do, but it's not, I use the online TurboTax.
Okay.
It takes me a few hours to do it all and get all the information together, but no big deal. Whatever. It is what it is. You got to do it. I think the only advice I have for streamers out there is make sure you keep good records and claim what you get. I mean, because it's the same thing like Twitch, they'll send you your 1099, but then also if you get separate donations in PayPal, if you go over a certain amount too, like they will send that to the IRS as well. PayPal will. So don't think that, I got this separate deal. No, if you make over a certain amount of income coming in, that'll get reported as well. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Shit, I was totally going to say something about that too. Oh yeah, last year I did not claim any expenses whatsoever, and just because of the headache, I was planning on not doing it again this year. And then I called my tax guy who used to file my personal and business taxes for when I owned my own business a couple of years back, and he was like, "Oh no, man, that's easy. Just give me a list of receipts and I'll take care of everything." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm just gonna pay somebody else. He was like, "Here's all my receipts. Just please do it for me, and I'll just pay you and call it a day, please."
Yeah, I think this year might be the first year I pay somebody to do my taxes because 2 houses, like buying a house, selling a house, fucking new cars, all kinds of shit. It's a pain in the ass. Like you're talking about all these forms you're gonna have.
Right. Yeah.
My company went bankrupt and then came out of bankruptcy this year. Like the company I've worked for a decade. And actually it's a decade yesterday. 10 years. Woo! Happy anniversary! So I'm gonna have 2 house notes that came and went. Like and the kids this year, his fucking every year we just keep putting his whatever's in his savings and lumping it into a CD and just letting it sit for a
Compact
year.
disc.
Yeah. So it gained enough interest this year to get a 1099 on that fucking thing, which is a pain in the ass. 'Cause it's it's just in his name. The 1099's in his name. I'm not gonna file taxes for a fucking 3-year-old. So I gotta figure all that stupid shit out. So I think I might just pay somebody this year.
Oh man.
And once I'm just gonna look at what they did and just be like, okay, I can do this next year.
Well, we used to pay someone to do it, and we did for a long time. And I guess it was 2 years ago we started doing it online and TurboTax. I just wanted to try it out just to see, because we were still planning on paying someone, but I was going to put all the information in and see what it did. But it ended up being so simple, and with all the information and all the stuff we had, that I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. But everybody's got a different situation. In your situation, I probably would be paying someone. But for me, I'm pretty organized with that stuff. So is my wife. So it's not too bad. And not saying you're not organized, but we didn't have all the major expenses and all the sales and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a lot more. That's a lot deeper than I have to worry about. So
yeah, it's basically just for my state. If you live in the state of Maryland, you get fucked if you make any money at all. They just fuck you in the ass. And no lube. So I made a decent amount of money off of my last house. I actually made a lot of money off of my last house because of the work I'd put into it. So they're going to fuck me on that, which is why I never put that money back into this house. I used some of it to do some minor improvements from the jump, but I kept that money because I just know that they're going to tax me out the ass on the profit I made off of that house. So
my old tax guy, who will most likely become my tax guy now, he does everything by hand, like graph, paper, and pencil. Like, so like when you do your taxes for one person, he has this massive sheet that like unfolds, does all of the writing, all the calculations, all the math, and then he can look at this piece of paper and one hand a calculator without even looking at it for a couple minutes straight, just adding, subtracting, adding, multiplying, and then writes the number down. And he's the cockiest son of a bitch that I've ever met. But he does his fucking job and he knows what's good. He's been doing taxes for long time. But every time I go in there,
sounds like Taxman Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Cocky Miyagi.
And did either of you guys hear the 2 jokes about the pet store that I told on stream the other day?
No.
Okay. There were 2 jokes I talked about, a parrot and a frog, and both of those came from, he always has the best jokes, and everyone in chat right now who heard those jokes is going to say, yes, those were the best jokes ever because they were fantastic.
Well, what the fuck were they?
Well, do you want me to retell them?
Yes, you can't just say, oh, they were these great jokes and then not tell the jokes.
Well, okay. All right, so here we go. Okay, so let me get my bearings here. Let me take a swig.
Shit, man, you can't build something up like that and be like, yeah, they were great. They're the best jokes.
It's okay. So, guy lives at home. All right, and well, obviously he lives at home, but he lives at home with his wife. He works a lot. The wife works nights, so they don't see each other a lot. So the man wants to go out to a pet store and maybe find a companion to have at home, and so he doesn't feel so lonely. And so he goes to the pet store. He walks in the door. He's taking a look around, and he sees a couple different ideas, and they start swimming around in his head. And then he comes across this parrot that's in the corner. And he goes, "Oh shit, a parrot! Okay." And he looks down, and the parrot looks at him and goes, "Hello." He goes, "Oh shit, you talk." Parrot goes, "Yeah, I can talk about anything. I can talk about sports. I can talk about sex. I can talk about, whatever you want." He goes, "Whoa, Jesus, you're $200?" And Parrot says, "Yeah, I'm a talking parrot. What do you want from me?" And he goes, "Well, that's a lot." And he goes, "Wait, here on the sign it says that you're deformed." He goes, "Yeah, I have a little bit of a deformity." And he goes, "Okay, well, $200 is a little much." And the parrot says, "Okay, $20. Take me home for $20. The guy goes, okay, yeah, I can do that. And he goes, well, like, what's your deformity? And the parrot moves his wing and shows that he doesn't have any legs, and he just has a little dick that's hanging there. He goes, oh my God, you don't have any legs. How do you stand up in the cage? He goes, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but my dick kind of wraps around the poles on the inside of the cage, and that's how I stand upright. And the guy goes, okay, well, $20 is $20, walks to the front counter, slaps some money on the counter, grabs the parrot, goes home. So about a week or so goes by, and the guy comes home from work, and the wife is still at work, and the parrot goes, hey, owner, I got to talk to you about something. So the guy waddles over to the cage. He goes, it's about your wife and the UPS man. So the husband says, what about the wife and the UPS man? Well, the last time your house got a package, the wife answered the door without a bra and a skimpy dress on. And so the husband says, okay, well, what happened next? Well, then the UPS driver came inside the house. So the husband said, okay, well, what happened after that? And he goes, well, the UPS man put the package down, and then the UPS man put his hand under his skirt and kind of started playing around. And the husband says, oh, what happened after that? And the parrot says, I don't know. I got a heart on and I fell over. I couldn't see. Because his dick was holding him up.
I get it. I knew that the punchline had something to do with the dick getting a
With the
hard on. I
penis.
was just waiting. Yeah.
All right.
That's not bad. That's not a bad joke.
All right.
Okay.
You ready for part 2?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So this is sort of kind of related. So the husband and the wife get a divorce after the whole UPS guy thing. And so the wife goes home. And after a little while of realizing that she is also lonely, she wants to go to the same pet store and find a companion. And so she goes to the pet store and she's taking a look around. She sees a turtle and goes, nah, not really. Moves along, sees goldfish, and fish isn't really what she's looking for. And then she moves on to a lizard, and she doesn't really want to deal with lizards. And she moves over to the further down the row, and she sees Magic Frog there. She goes, oh my God, a magic frog. And so the lady waves down the store owner and says, excuse me, sir, what's so magic about this frog? And the guy says, well, he eats pussy. Wife doesn't hesitate, throws the money on the counter, grabs the frog, goes home. So she goes home and she gets ready for her date night. So she sets the frog down in the bedroom. She goes into the bathroom. She freshens up, takes a bath, puts on some perfume, does her makeup. She comes out into the bedroom. She makes the bed with the finest linen sheets she has. She takes the frog out of the cage, places it in the middle of the bed. And then she lays on the bed, takes off her clothes, and spreads her legs and says, eat me. Frog doesn't do anything. Eat me. Frog still doesn't do anything. So the lady says, what the fuck? She grabs her phone. She calls the pet store and says, hey, this frog doesn't do what you said it would. The guy says, okay, sorry about that. I'll be right over. So the store owner comes over and he goes, okay, show me exactly what you're doing. And so the lady grabs the frog. She puts it on the bed. She goes and gets in the bed, spreads her legs and says, eat me. Nothing happens. And she says, eat me. Still nothing. And the guy goes, oh, you gotta be a little bit more aggressive with it. So the lady goes, eat me. She goes, see, nothing. So the guy goes, okay, all right. He grabs the frog. He goes, frog, I'm only going to show you how to do this one more time. Are those great?
That's pretty good.
The second one's better than the first one.
No, come on, parrot dick.
No, the parrot dick. I saw that one coming a long time before, like the punchline. That one though, it was that was good. That was better. It had the air of mystery.
See, and all of his jokes are these long, drawn out, like story jokes that just have build up, and then the punchline comes out of nowhere. And that's usually half of the time that I spend at his house is him just telling me these amazing jokes that he knows.
And the whole time he's like just like calculating with his other hand while he's telling me the joke.
Yep, still fingering that calculator blindly. All right, next up regarding Twitch. So we had this issue, and we'll call it an issue, a couple weeks ago, where ads of Ninja's New Year's Eve's Fortnite stream were appearing on other people's channels across Twitch. So everybody's saying, what the fuck? Why is Twitch advertising another streamer on my channel?
Yeah.
So we went through that whole thing. There was some backlash. There was some explanation of what had happened, and everyone had thought that Twitch had learned their lesson and that this wasn't the best way to go about these kind of things. And then this week, and possibly even last week, we started to see ads to a streamer named Pokimane. She's a popular, I don't know if she's a popular League of Legends streamer that has gone variety. I don't really know much about her. But she was doing
Plays a lot of Fortnite now, I think.
Fortnite, okay. She was doing some sort of event that I think involved NFL of some sort. And then her ads started appearing in other people's streams. And this time they started appearing while people were live. Like these ads would appear over their live feed video saying, hey, this other thing's going on, so come on and check it out. And that angered a lot of people. I have a feeling that if it was kind of the same deal as it was with Ninja, it wouldn't have been bad. But the fact that this ad was popping up over people's live channels got people pretty angry. So I don't really care. How do I say this? It's not that I don't care about the whole situation, but I want to try and talk this out with you guys and figure out if this is really all that bad. Is it far from the norm in the business world outside of streaming? And what are kind of just your general thoughts about this stuff happening?
I wonder if this incident or if it's totally unrelated. I noticed there was a tweet today that Summit had about, hey, Twitch. He like added Twitch and said something to the effect of, what would it take for me to run advertisements of my stream on Dr. Disrespect's channel or some shit like that? And then Disrespect replied with like, you son of a bitch, this isn't over, you know? But I wonder if that was just them kind of joking about the ludicrousness of other streamers on, I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was funny. It made me laugh. And I didn't realize this thing was going on with the Pokimane streamer. I don't know, man. I think it's really kind of in poor form because, but it really comes down to Twitch being a business. It's Twitch as a business. They're trying to, I don't see a lot of ads because most of the streams that I go to watch are ones that I am subscribed to. I don't watch a very many streams of ones because I'm already subscribed to several people. So, and I have very limited time to watch on Twitch as it is. So if I do get time to watch Twitch, it's 95% of the time it's somebody that I already know and I already support and I already like, you know? But I still think if they're doing these ads, they should make some way that you have the ability to opt out of those types of ads. I think because if you have an issue with a particular type of streamer or whatever, and you don't want them to do it, I think you should be able to opt out of those as a streamer. I would think, because it's so much about your community and branding and all that sort of stuff that goes with it. And I'm super small potatoes, so I mean, I'm not really concerned so much about it with my own channel. But I imagine if I was a larger streamer with pulling in hundreds or thousands of viewers per stream, it might bother me a little bit. You know, I don't draw those kind of numbers. So
Right.
And the majority of people that are in my channel are subscribed to me, with a few new people that come up here and there. So I imagine ads aren't as big of a deal for most of my viewers. So I don't know. I think it's not something that really affects me too much, but I think it is kind of in poor form, in my opinion. But shit, you know, Twitch, they probably have some marketing person somewhere that pulled some type of data that said, look, this is how we can generate revenue or whatever. And that's the reason for it. So that's pretty much my only real thought on it.
I mean, for me, I think the only thing that makes it different from any other platform is just that it's live, it's unscripted, and there's no, I mean, obviously a lot of people do their schedules and shit, but for the most part, when you go to watch a stream, you don't have like a minute to minute fucking plan of, okay, Knackers is going to talk for 14 minutes and then he's going to go to the bathroom. And then 3 minutes later, he's going to fucking play for 2.5 hours straight without stopping. And then here he's going to, that shit doesn't happen. So I think it's just the optics are worse with Twitch when it comes to these pre-roll ads, especially if they're mid-roll like adding any live stream. That's just dickish. to begin with, and then doing it with a direct competitor. I don't care how big or small you are. But if I was a Summit or a Doc or a Shroud, and somebody comes to my stream and they're hit with a fucking Pokemon meme fucking ad, I would be kind of pissed about that, because it is drawing attention again away from your channel regardless, especially if it's like during the event. But
Right.
I think like you see this type of shit with YouTube and stuff all the time. YouTube fucking takes people on YouTube Red and just fucking jacks them to the ceiling. But the difference is that it's on demand, basically on demand content. It's not, for the most part, it's these ads are coming across recorded content that you were just clicking on. It's playing the ad and then the video starts. It's not like interrupting somebody's fucking experience,
Right.
coming to a channel and then getting hit with a fucking ad and then just loading in random. So I don't know.
Outside, like leaving the ads interrupting a live stream on the table and just kind of talking about ads in general, has a pre-roll ad ever made you leave the content that you intended to click on to check out the advertised content?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. So I think that is kind of where like my thoughts are, is if I click on something, it's because I clicked on it because I want to watch it. And it's going to take a lot for me to see something in an ad and me leave what I'm currently wanting to watch to go and watch something else. Granted, these ads like for Ninja or for Pokemon Stream, bless you.
Thank you.
When the ads were getting plastered on other people's channel, they weren't necessarily live. So it's not like said person would go to that channel right then and there, see that they were live, and then stay and then not come back. I don't know of anybody that has that happen to them often. I'm sure there's like one or two times where like I've maybe seen something on Instagram where it was like a super dope shirt, like an awesome floral shirt. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll check that out. But I always end up going back to the place that I was intending to go. It doesn't completely derail me. And then I never go back to that channel ever again. So I understand the outrage, but I also think that a lot of Twitch streamers maybe have like this is my safe space mentality where nobody else is allowed and competition is bad, to the point where it's like, no, everybody that is here is mine and they're not allowed to go anywhere else. They're not allowed to be tempted by other channels. And I don't really think that's right. Should ads be popping up on top of my live stream for another streamer? No, that's fucking stupid. And I don't know how that happened, but I guarantee like either one of you guys said there was a board meeting where somebody said, hey, by the way, if we put ads to this channel while these people are live, there's an 85% chance that we'll generate more revenue. And then all the old white dudes just went sold to the gentleman at the end of the table. So I understand it to a point. But we're going to start getting to the point where, you know, think about like TwitchCon, where everybody goes and everybody's there to have fun and hang out with other streamers. And it's more of like a family oriented thing rather than everybody going out there to benefit their business. It's going to end up where we go to let's say we go to Washington Capitals game. All of those banners are going to be different streamers and different brands of people. It's going to get to the point where
it's almost there as it is.
Right.
Like,
it's gonna start getting there. And this
watch
like
a hockey game, watch a Washington game at home, and now they use the glass as another ad space for TV. So when you're at home, you can see all the fucking ads. Obviously, they're not on the glass, but they're just CGI'd into the glass all the way around the fucking arena, and they change all the time. It's
Right.
fucking dumb.
So that is our future. Whether people want to believe that or not, Twitch is not just going to be a place where you can just play video games for fun and make money without any of this other big business stuff coming on in. There's going to be competition. And just like YouTube has a way where you can pay to have your channel advertised on another channel. Like that's a thing right now.
Suggested videos.
You know, Twitch has changed a lot since I have started viewing on the platform. I started viewing on the platform for about 3 months before I started streaming. And in the almost 4 years I've been streaming now, it has changed dramatically. And I can only imagine that there's still going to be quite a bit of change over the next few years. It's the number one as far as live streaming goes. It's the number one platform that's out there. There's nothing else that's even close. I do think we've gone back to this. They're kind of being a little bit more bold in their approach of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what's going to stick. What can they get away with that's not going to cause too much of an outcry? You know what I mean? Because people are going to get mad. I mean, no matter what you do, anytime you change something, people are going to get upset. You know,
right?
It's bound to happen. So I think what they're trying to see right now is where can we find ways to make more income and get more out of these people, with the streamers on the platform. How can we make more money without without rocking the boat too much? They're seeing how much they can rock the boat. And so you're going to continue to see stuff like this. I mean, they implement new features that benefit streamers all the time, but they also put stuff in that's more about, hey, we're trying to make money. So, but the reality is it's owned by Amazon. It's a big business, and that shit ain't going to go away. I mean,
Jeff Bezos is going to get his money.
Yeah, it ain't going away. So
it's got to pay for that third family.
I think it's interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. Finish, go, baby.
No, I was just gonna say. I think it's interesting. I think Twitch, as far as I'm concerned, me, small time streamer that mainly does it as a hobby.
We've been Twitch branded as small streamers, Jimbo.
But I mean, I don't see any. That's the other thing we could talk about. I don't have any. There's no offense. Like, I don't take any offense to small. I mean, if I'm just looking at just the, I'm not drawing in hundreds or thousands of people per stream. So
right.
I'm a small streamer, but that's okay. I love my community. It's small, whatever. It's great, But, I think Twitch has done more good than bad stuff, and that I think they continue to mainly do more good than bad stuff. But as they continue to grow, we're going to start seeing all, these kinds of changes that are going to continue to pop up. I mean, that's what businesses do. They evolve, they change, and hopefully it still maintains that core type of shit that's made it so popular to begin with. That's my hope. Because if it loses that, and then they start losing a bunch of the people, that's going to be an issue, obviously. Twitch is still growing. I mean, it's not like it hasn't plateaued. I mean, it is growing like crazy, man. There's so many more people streaming and viewing on this platform now than just 4 years, especially 4 years ago, around the time I started, even more so than when you started. It's crazy, man.
Yep.
Crazy. So
I think there's 3 times as many partners now than there was when I started streaming on Twitch. And I mean, I think the stats for I don't think they've done a year in review yet they don't usually do that year in review until TwitchCon, right? When they show all the stats from the previous year.
It was late last year. It was like summertime when we talked about those stats they put out.
Okay. So yeah, 2 point how many million people like at any given moment, or not at any, I don't know.
I think it was 2.8 active streamers.
Yes, active accounts that were streaming. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to get to the point where if you have a 6-hour stream, you might have a forced commercial break in the middle there somewhere that you might not have control over. And you bet your ass that sometimes another streamer is probably going to get advertised, just how other TV shows are advertised during breaks of other TV shows. So I think this is sort of breaking everybody's bubble of, I have complete control over this space and my content, and I control what goes in and out. But I also kind of feel like this is a little bit of no, these viewers are mine and they aren't allowed to go anywhere else. Like, you don't deserve any of the viewers that you have. They are there because they choose to be. You do not own them. You have no ownership over them. So, and we're all about our viewers finding their favorite place to be and their favorite streamer to watch. Like, would you rather have 1,000 people who just kind of like you and are only there because their favorite streamer isn't on? Whoops. I just hit a hotkey and it zoomed in on me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yike. Or would you rather have, 300 people that really, truly love you and enjoy belonging to the community that you have all created together?
There's two. I have found so many great people to watch on Twitch thanks to the people that I do watch on Twitch. And I mean, you're never gonna. I think it's pretty rare a Twitch viewer that only watches one stream. I mean, that's
right.
That's silly to even think that, or to have that kind of mentality. I mean, I'm sure that most of us that watch streams, you probably have a solid 5 or 6 that you're most likely to go to. But I mean, shit, you follow like over 200 streamers. Knackers. My follow count's relatively low, but I was pretty sure it's around at least 100. I mean, that's a lot of different channels. It's a lot of channels. So I don't know, man. People are too damn sensitive. People are too sensitive.
And this is my favorite part about having Twitch as a hobby and not my main source of income, is I don't have a lot of these feelings, and that's probably a luxury, I would say, compared to other people, because this is people's livelihoods, right? Mm-hmm. But I think out of all the things, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I can't speak for the people that are using Twitch to pay for their lives. But
it's different. That's a different scenario. If you're a full-time streamer and that's your really only source of income, well, you probably should be thinking, and I've heard a lot of full-time streamers say this, you probably need you need to be looking at other avenues and other income flow than just what you're getting on Twitch, because it's like this, man. It's like this. Some months your sub count will be up, it'll be down. You can't depend on that. You really can't.
That's a massive risk to do that. And I feel like a lot that lesson should have been learned with the adpocalypse on YouTube. Like, how many fucking channels just disappeared?
Yep.
Because all of a sudden they couldn't get ads on their videos at all. And then a lot of the ones that I like have created, whether it's Patreon or a subscription-based service, or like DeFranco, Philip DeFranco, he did DeFranco Elite, where he had his own subscription-based services. And I feel like you have to get the audience first to even be able to think about doing something like that on the side.
Right, sure.
Yeah. And then it's like, what's Twitch's or YouTube's, or I know YouTube at one point had been clearing Patreon links out of fucking video descriptions and shit because they were getting pissed that revenue was going off the site and shit like that. So
right.
I just think that Twitch is getting there. Like Jimmy said, they're pushing the envelope a little bit further. They're throwing shit at the wall, seeing if it sticks. And if nobody gets pissed, then who cares? But eventually, I just think the whole streamer on another streamer page is dumb. It wouldn't matter if it was like an NFL ad or something.
Yeah.
I have said this forever. I don't think I could ever full-time, not even just Twitch stream, but just full-time content creation. If it ever got to the point where I was able to make a decent income, I would go, okay, what are my house bills? Rent, heat, air conditioning, water, groceries. Get a part-time job that can get me that money every single month. And then for the other things like a car payment or for fun stuff, then use all of the income from the hobby to kind of supplement that. And yeah, I just don't know if I could only do this kind of stuff all the time for a main source of income.
No,
it would give me a fucking anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're depending on other people, because here's the thing. I mean, it happens. There's sometimes you could be subbed to somebody for a couple years, and then one day maybe you're just not into their content that much anymore. I mean, not that you dislike them or anything, but but if you're a big enough person, I mean, that's going to happen several times over. It's going to happen. You do it long enough. I've had people that were around my channel quite a bit for first couple of years of streaming, and then they just disappeared and never heard from them again.
Right.
Some of those people who would come by and drop tips, but I can't be upset or mad about that. It's like, either they found someone else to watch, or maybe they got tired of Twitch. Maybe they got tired of my content, whatever it is. But I mean, it's always going to go like this. I mean, you can't depend on, that's really what it is. I mean, you're putting out free content on Twitch. So all the subs, all the tips, all the bits, I mean, that is the people that are saying, hey, I like your content, keep doing it. But you can't depend on that as your sole source of income.
No.
That's fucking crazy. Unless you happen to have, you're one of those really big time streamers. I mean, I can't.
I mean, if you're a fucking Doc or a Shroud, you're not going to give a flying fuck about that wave, because your wave is way the fuck up here. Every once in a while, you dip into like almost a normal streamer, and then you're back up making 10 times what you need to pay your fucking bills.
That and people like Shroud, Doc, they can do a sponsored stream for 2 hours and make my salary in one stream. Easy. Yeah. And it's like those Atlas streams, people were getting paid $10, $20, $30, $40,000 to stream that game for 2 to 4 hours. Yeah. Insane amounts of money. Absolutely crazy.
Fuckers.
There was one other thing I was going to bring up regarding, and I think it is gone. It's gone. Okay. Any other points regarding all this kind of stuffs?
No, the only other thing I would say is that the changes ain't going to stop here. They're going to keep going. Twitch is going to keep doing stuff. Some stuff you like, other stuff you don't. They're going to keep pushing that envelope because, again, they are a big ass business.
Yep. All right, moving along to our second and final topic of the day. And I don't know how much you guys have seen and or played, but I got a chance to play the Anthem demo today. And after not really caring about the game since seeing it for the first time at E3?
I think so. A couple years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Thoughts and prayers regarding Anthem. What have you guys seen? What are your thoughts on it? Have you played it at all? Do you plan on getting it? Is it something that interests you? What's your blood type, social security number?
Before we say anything about the actual content of the game, if I hear one more fucking stupid kid talk about server problems on a fucking test launch, I will fucking kill something. It blows my mind how fucking dumb the general public is nowadays when it comes to this shit. Like, that's all I've seen is, again, like all these gaming news websites out there bitching and moaning and complaining, and everybody on Twitter whining about servers crashing and I can't get into a server and a rubber band. I don't care. You're in a fucking test phase. It's a beta. What do you expect? The whole purpose of this is to fuck the whole thing up so they can build it back up before launch. Like, they still have at least 5-6 fucking updates to go before they get to launch, period. I mean, this is coming from somebody who's played Ark for fucking like 3 years.
Right.
It's on version, I think, 261 now. It didn't go fucking actual out of alpha into full release until like 240. So I've been there since like 90 something.
Wow.
And it took that long for that game because it's super, super small studio.
For people
Give these motherfuckers some goddamn time.
For people who didn't have Premiere, did you have to pay for the demo that was playable? Did you have to pre-order in order to play it?
I didn't play Anthem.
Can anybody in chat verify or deny whether or not you had to pre-order Anthem in order to play the demo today, or if it was key-based or anything? Was there any sort of compensation necessary? the game was a demo in a way, but it was, don't get it confused, because it was actually a stress test. It was a early access stress test to see how it would do. And apparently it didn't do that great. I didn't have any problems because I played it days after. Yeah.
I heard some complaints. Like, there's a streamer I'm friends with, a partner streamer named Sam, and she's one of those EA like VIP. I don't know what the term is, but she's one of those. What are they, like the game changers or whatever? Yeah, I think that's what it is. She's one of those. So she gets early access to new EA games and all that.
Isn't that a paid subscription though? Like a yearly thing separate from Origin Premiere?
I have no idea. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think she's sponsored by it because like she does stuff for The Sims and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but she was complaining because apparently there's some type of issue with in the game. She was having a hard time seeing any of the instructions or whatever because she couldn't change the screen size or something. And there was stuff that she wasn't able to see all of the screen. And I mean, she's not the type of person to really complain about much of anything. And she was on Twitter, it's like, this has to be fixed now because there's no option to change like the screen and everything else. And yeah, it's all anecdotal for me. I don't plan on playing it because essentially the game to me kind of just seems like a Destiny type of game, which I'm not really into that sort of stuff. I'm not hating on them, not shitting on them, but it's basically it's a shooter MMO, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, kind of. It's hard to say it's even an MMO because the levels are on rails.
Yeah, but I know, but
yes,
it's kind of that weird genre, like it's like a Destiny type game, which to me, I get it. I get why people like those, but it's like an MMO in the sense that it's one of those games that if you're playing it, that's almost all you're playing. You're playing that game.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't hold any interest because I like playing too many different fucking games to just focus on a game like that. I'm not shitting on it. I just, I don't really give a shit. I know it's not a game. I knew it wasn't a game that I was going to want to play because that's not the type of game that I play. So.
I did a quick Googly. And how can I play the Anthem demo? Simple. Pre-order now or join Origin Access or EA Access. So I wonder if what your friend has is EA Access?
No,
it's not.
No, it's like she gets like free games from EA and does streams. Like she's usually in the 100. She's been on the front page of Twitch quite a few times.
Okay.
She's like she gets basically to play some stuff early and whatever because she's getting people to see it. Yeah, okay. She's endorsed by them. Yeah.
So what that tells me is that it was a pay to enter early access stress test disguised as a demo. Because when you actually boil down the facts, a demo is a piece of the full game. You get access to all of the features. Everything is unlocked, but you either get to play a certain amount of time or a certain amount of content. This was not a demo. This was what I just said it was. That is what makes me angry. And the only reason why I played the game is because I purchased Origin Access, which I don't know if it's going to be worth it in the end, but I ended up paying for Origin Access once a year, which it comes out to $100, I believe, if you pay for the year up front. I'm trying to get myself away from as many monthly payment things as possible because I feel like it's just a money sink. And then paying monthly, it ends up being like $180 or $190 dollars a year. Which to me, paying $100 for 12 months, if I play 2 AAA title games, it's worth it for that year. I've already played Battlefield. I'm going to be playing Anthem. Oh my God, excuse me. I want to play Unravel 2. I want to play A Way Out. Like, there's so many other titles, so it seemed like it was going to be worth it to me. But yeah, don't get it twisted when people just say, "Oh yeah, this is just a demo, just to see if you're gonna like it. Give it a try. You might like it. You might buy it." It was definitely a stress test event, so got to be careful because it's people twisting words, and this was not a demo. It was not. Granted, with that said, I played it today. I played it for about 2 hours. I did the only couple missions that you could with Sonder, and Sonder had put a good amount of time into it. I only had one bug that was not game breaking. The final cutscene of the last mission froze, and you just had to hold down escape to progress through the cutscene. Game was pretty cool. Flying around with a fucking jetpack and shooting shit, I liked. I enjoyed it. The game ran great. I'm on a 1080p setup. So I was seeing, I didn't have an FPS counter, but it definitely didn't look 60. It was somewhere in between 80 and 120. I was getting high frame rate for sure. While I was playing the game, I was borderline maxing out my Intel 8700K, which is a 6-core Intel processor. I was sitting at like 90% playing that on Ultra. And 13 gigs of memory were being used while I was playing that game.
Welcome to Ark.
Well, yeah, welcome to Ark Life. The missions were cool. The scenery is gorgeous. The game looks really, really good. I thought the game played like I saw it at the E3 trailer. I didn't feel like any of the environment or the foliage was dumbed down at all. It was all gorgeous. It ran well. I know people with higher resolution setups were having a little bit more of an issue. People with 1440p. I don't know of anybody that was playing at 4K. They had a good amount of story with the missions, something that I felt compelled to pay attention to. UI could use a little bit of tweaking, but it definitely seems like a console port. The way that the UI works and how they have press to hold menus and what seems like should be triggers to switch from left and right menus, kind of like No Man's Sky or Battlefield. It's like, but it still ran really, really well at 1080p for me. So I enjoyed it. I got 2 hours out of it. Very bullet spongy. Enemies are very spongy in that game, which honestly doesn't surprise me. But if it's a good game, like mechanically and performance wise, if it does well and there is some sort of campaign that has a riveting story that pulls me in, I'll probably play it. Will I grind the hell out of it and play it all the time? Probably not. I could see that being an awesome off-stream game. I don't know how much I would play that on stream just because, oh, Jesus, you tell that Mike who's boss, daddy. So, yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It performed well. I didn't have any game-breaking bugs, and it was a good time. So I will most likely play it only because it is available to me for free because I'm already paying for access. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't buy it. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I might buy it. I
think you would like it.
Suit thing just reminds me of Grav.
That's what, okay, I totally said that to myself today. I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Grav, like just a little bit. And this might be the game that fulfills that hole in my heart and ass.
I tried to get on Grav the other day and it just crashed.
Mm-hmm.
The game doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah. So would I recommend anybody go and buy Origin Access to pay Anthem? No. Would I recommend anybody go and buy Anthem, especially now? Fuck no. You better not be pre-ordering. I feel bad for anybody that pre-ordered that game and then had to deal with that shit on soft launch day.
Though, man.
I feel no sympathy.
Zero. If it's early access, it's because shit ain't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the fucking game was anywhere close to ready, they'd fucking sell it. Done.
Just release it.
Stop pre-ordering shit, you fucking idiots.
Yeah. The first time I got up in the air and flew, I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. Just being able to like jetpack, fly around, shoot shit. Again, with the scenery being gorgeous, it almost feels kind of like a movie.
Put a nice soundtrack in the background.
Yeah. I don't remember any of the music. Huh. Yeah, I don't remember any of it. It must have not been that great. But yeah, so I would say, yeah. Okay, maybe. But again, this is fucking EA we're talking about, and I don't have high hopes. But if this is just like a cool game that I can just kind of play off stream with a girlfriend and some friends and something that I don't take too seriously, I think it could be like a good game just to go fuck around in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's probably why I'll end up playing it.
Dope. Moving along to the question and answer part of the show. By the way, thank you for anybody that submitted articles for us to talk about or reveal on the show. I appreciate you guys doing that every single week. So thank you. Right now, we're going to tackle all the questions that were taken from the bot in chat. So anybody that submitted questions, thank you very much. Our first question comes from Bigfoot. Did you know that Denmark just became a world champion in handball?
I saw that on Reddit today.
No, I did not. I didn't even know handball was still a thing.
Yeah, I saw that today, actually.
Okay.
We have a few international people that we all know are in another Discord, and they were talking about Germany game the other day. That's the only reason I knew there was a handball championship going on. Nobody in the U.S. watches handball. I'm sorry. That is 100% a European thing to the core.
I only knew just because it literally popped up on my Reddit feed. Otherwise, I would have had no fucking clue.
Handball is cool as fuck to watch, and I watch it in the Olympics, but that's as far as it goes. Like, they're not putting that shit on TV ever.
Yeah. ESPN 8, maybe. The Ocho.
The Ocho.
So,
next question from Matt Weenie. Jimmy, what is your son's favorite Pokemon?
Oh, actually, it's Mewtwo. Is his favorite Pokemon.
Original 152. That's what I'm talking about.
He loves Mewtwo. In fact, that's his favorite Smash Ultimate character too. Like, he loves to use Mewtwo. So probably Pikachu, probably second. He loves him some Pikachu too, but yeah, he's all about Mewtwo.
Okay.
I loved Mewtwo until I saw the movie as a kid.
Yeah. I got him the movies. Like, they sold like a Blu-ray. It had like the first 3 Pokemon movies, and he watched the first one, and he was like, "Dad, that movie wasn't very good."
Oh, damn,
The
man!
first was like fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, he was like, "It wasn't
one.
very good." I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I hadn't watched it, but I figured you like Pokemon, you'd like the movie, but I guess it was shitty."
Little Jimbo's a savage.
If you didn't watch the cartoon, then the movie really doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, when that movie came out, I was 100% invested in the cartoon. I'd watched every fucking episode of that cartoon. And then that movie came out, and the towards the ending was just fucking right in the fucking feels, bro.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Next question from Conbot. What do you guys think about the comeback of Sea of Thieves?
I think it's good. I think they still haven't added shit to the game. It only came back because a certain person on Twitch brought it back. And that's it. Like, I'm glad it's doing well. I haven't seen really anything else. It's still just rob people, sell chest. Rob people, sell chest. Whatever.
I own that game. And I played it like twice. So part of the problem is, again, it's hard for me to. That's the type of game you got to really play with other people. So yeah, it's hard for me to link up with other people to play, and I'm probably gonna try it again at some point. I don't play a ton of multiplayer stuff, so. I'm glad it's coming back. I mean, hopefully they keep adding more content to it. But I mean, the other thing is, I don't know, man. That game, one of the reasons I wasn't playing as much, water effects are so real.
Oh,
it almost makes me fucking seasick playing that game. Like,
that's why I never bought it.
I get queasy sometimes. The few times I played it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting seasick playing a damn video game. What the hell? Yeah. But yeah, it's true. So
That's what worries me about Atlas too, because Atlas is made by the same people that made Ark, and it's basically the exact same game with different skins and UI changes, just very small changes. I could literally just step right into that world, but I'm like watching streams. People have these big ass fucking boats and they're sailing around. And I'm just like,
mhm.
I'm gonna have to sit like way far back here and play games like that. Otherwise, I'll just get sick.
I'm super pumped that Sea of Thieves is coming back because it was a game that I was excited for when it was first announced. And then it came out and I heard what people were saying about it. I think what Summit did was he taught everybody that you don't have to play the game the way that they want you to. There's other ways that you can have fun. And he just made it his mission to just camp out and just rob people that were trying to play the game. And it ended up making amazing content. That guy is now the second most subscribed to channel on Twitch right now. He has had the highest sub count that he has ever had. Actually, 2 times his highest sub count. And I fucking love watching him play Sea of Thieves. I can tune it at any time. I'm somebody who loves Summit for his personality and for how he runs the stream. So I can watch him do pretty much anything except for Fortnite. But yeah, I can just go in there and just watch him just fuck people up for hours. And it's always a good time. I am super stoked to see that there has been new life breathed into this game. And I still don't have like the pull to play it because I don't know. I sort of kind of feel bad because I don't want to be a bandwagoner and just start playing it now because everybody's playing it. And by the time that I do get into it and start having fun, everybody's going to be over it. And then it's just going to be like dead meme. But I think it's awesome.
Like when it came out.
The game has, what'd you say?
It'll be just like when the game came out.
Right. Yeah. That I feel like Summit revealed how the game should actually be played. Like the devs obviously had a path that they wanted everybody to take, but Summit made everybody aware that this is a PvP game and you can have a really, really good time if you just go full force into the PvP aspect of it. So I'm all about it.
Well, and you aren't just a dick. Because there's plenty of fucking... The reason why that game sucks so hard is because you would join a server, you and one other person, you got your tiny little boat, and then there's some asshole with a galleon just going around fucking everybody and breaking their shit. Like,
right.
Yeah.
He made it in a way where it's like the people really have to fuck up pretty hard for him to get away with it. And he has gotten away with some shit.
Yes, he has.
Like loading those fucking rowboats full of fucking like 20 chests. And then they think the fucking boat's chasing him, but they don't realize that he's about to fucking pop out and drop this rowboat down and sell everything they just spent 10 hours fucking working on.
Oh, God. That when he stole 3 Athenas at once... Can you imagine being the people on the other side of that? How mad. Yeah. That's like 5 or 6 hours worth of work just taken by a dead streamer.
You're fucking quitting that day.
Yeah. Next question from Kanbot. Knackers, what is it like living in the 15th century and how does your time machine work exactly? So Kanbot is referencing a picture that he posted in my Discord today of a dude that looks exactly like me, but from a picture painted in the 15th century. And if you're curious, it's in the IRL and Selfies channel in Discord, or it's on Twitter. Resemblance is uncanny for sure.
The mustache.
The mustache. I'm kind of lacking on the curl today because I didn't really do it, but still feels nice.
You got too much of that slushy drink got in your stash.
Too sugary.
Yeah.
Next question from Ember Strife. Have any of you played Pikuniku that's free with Prime right now, or see anything about it? It's an adorable platformer with catchy music and lots of pop culture references, like jokes. I think Jimmy would really like it.
I downloaded it, or I added it to my. It was free with Prime, I guess, this last month. I've got such a backlog right now that maybe at some point I will do it, but Oh my god, I'm still trying to finish Red Dead 2.
Right.
And then I got Resident Evil 2. I got fucking Uncharted 4. I got maybe Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh my god, man, so many single player games to play. But
What
it
are,
is something I did pick it up. I did pick the game up. So
what are the chances of you only coaching one thing next year to just free up some time for yourself?
shit, pretty
Slim to
minimal.
none.
I mean, down the road maybe, but yeah, right now I would have to be a little bit more established where I could just say, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. You know what I mean?
Fuck you.
Yeah, I can't really do that now. And in maybe another 10 years, I could do that. But
Next question. Paul asks, what's going to be the next big community multiplayer game? The Division 2 question mark?
There's no fucking telling anymore because these games are like, instead of people just having a general opinion about shit and just letting it ride until the game gets there and then either hitting a fucking wall or just launching into space, people hype these fucking games so much and then they just shit the beds so hard. I mean, you could say that with Division 1. Like, hackers tore that game apart in like 2 days. Like, that was it. That game was fucking done. And then you had an update where it blipped for a little bit. You know, Destiny, same thing. Everybody's just bitching about lack of content, yada yada yada. You know, there's no way to tell what game is going to be big because like the level of the absence of fucking attention span nowadays. The fact that Fortnite has been around as long as it is, that boggles the fucking mind.
Still
'Cause
killing
there's
it.
only like 5 fucking games out there right now that have been around like that, even for a year or two.
my thought is similar to yours. I think that it's probably going to be something that comes out of left field, like nobody had, just like Fortnite did, you know? There's a good chance, whatever it is, just we'll try and follow the Fortnite model and go the free route where you have things that you can, because you're going to have a lot bigger saturation that way. Certainly, if it's going to be big, they're going to have to do it cross-platform the same way. Because of the infrastructure in place and with the Epic Game Store, it may be something. I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one is another Epic game, just because of the way they've set up cross-platform and infrastructure and all that. I mean, they're primed for. I mean, they know that their money cow will eventually keel over and die with Fortnite, and there'll be something else. But they've already put a plan in place to already send out whatever that next one could be. So,
well, that's just it. They made all that money out. We're talking about taxes and fucking multiple streams of income and all this shit. Epic is gonna kill Steam. If they have any sense in buying the hardware and doing it the right way, they're gonna fucking murder Steam just because of that developer rate.
That revenue split.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, they're gonna have twice as many fucking people. Especially, you're seeing all these motherfuckers out here now doing exclusivity shit where Epic Store is going to be the only place you can get it on PC. It's like, dude, I could see them just being loaded forever. They're done.
I don't know. I don't think the next big game is going to be a battle royale. I think that wave has probably simmered down a little bit. There's a chance that people will get sick of Fortnite and then there will be another big battle royale game, but I don't think there's going to be another BR game that takes the world by storm, because it was all of these half-assed early access BR games, and then PUBG was supposed to be like deliver us from evil, and then it wasn't. And then Fortnite just came around and was just like, scoop, I'll take all you people who think this game is way too cartoony and I'm gonna make you play it anyways. And that's totally what happened. And then Black Ops came out, and I don't really see a lot of people streaming that as much anymore. I definitely don't see anybody streaming the multiplayer at all. There's a lot of people playing it, and I am sure that the console community for Call of Duty is still massive, for sure. I don't really know, because it's really hard for me to say, because I'm not playing as many multiplayer games as I used to. does the game need to have a esports aspect to it to be successful nowadays, or can it just be like a regular ass multiplayer game? I don't know if I really see the Division or Anthem being the next massive multiplayer game that everybody is playing. And I really don't know what it is and what is, because I don't feel like Battlefield 4 could come out in 2020 and be as successful as it was back then. Because I don't know if that's what people want. And I don't think that is what is going to succeed nowadays. So it's really hard for me to answer that question because I honestly have no idea. Like my preference, like the only problem with games like Anthem or Division or Destiny is you kind of have to play with people that are in your level bracket, and you have to level up with people in a certain group. So like if you have a group of 3 people, you kind of want to level with other people that are within the same level as you are. And if you get outside of that, if somebody is not a high enough level, they're struggling. And if somebody is too high of a level, they're just blowing everybody out of the water, and it's not fun for the rest of the group. So those games I struggle with those because I can only play those games like once a week. And I can't keep up with people that are playing that game 3, 4, 5 times a week, especially if I'm streaming. So I don't know, because I don't know if just a regular team deathmatch multiplayer can work. I don't know if a massive multiplayer like Battlefield could work again. I think it's proven that games like Call of Duty aren't going to exist very long in the Twitch space. I think just a general multiplayer game, they're probably doing just fine, especially in the console world. So yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea. I know that we have, like we talked about our lists of games, but when it comes to upcoming games, I'm looking at the single player games. I'm looking at single player campaigns and co-op campaigns. That is the most that I'm interested in. Final question. This one comes from Cypher. Did you guys see the Dying Light 2 reveal trailer?
No.
I didn't either, but I'm going to buy that game regardless of what trailer comes out because I dropped about 60, 70 hours into the first Dying Light. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm super, super pumped for Dying Light 2, so I will probably buy that on release day.
Sweet.
Dope! Well, guys, that is it for our show tonight. Thank you guys, everybody who submitted questions, and for everybody who is in chat right now. And whether you guys are chatting, lurking, or listening to this later, I appreciate all of you guys very, very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around this room one final time, reintroduce you to all of the guests, and then we'll get up out of here. So SaltySam, what up with you?
Hi guys, my name is SaltySam. You can find me on Twitch at SaltySam, Twitter at the SaltySam, Instagram Salty all day, and I've got that shit going on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. My bad. I was like, oh god. My name is Jimmy, aka MiddleAgedStream. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at MiddleAgedStream, MiddleAgedStream on Twitter. Cunning Linguist on farmersonly.com, and I will be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'm back to my Monday, Wednesday, Saturday schedule for the next foreseeable future around 8:30 Central Time. And I'm going to be finishing up Red Dead, and we'll be moving on to Resident Evil a dose. So that should be fun.
My name is Knackers. You guys can find me on this very Twitch channel. Over the next 2 weeks, I am starting God of War. We're going to have another podcast. And then the following week, we are building a bunch of keyboards and macro boards, which I'm super fucking stoked about. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Knackers with 3 A's. Thank you guys so much for hanging out for the podcast tonight. We hope you all have a wonderful week. And you'll most likely see me live next Sunday for a 1v1 podcast. The guest has yet to firmly confirm. So worst case scenario, we just do a day stream of playing some video games, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Oh no, I lost my...
Farmers only.